Going on? It's Man Tomorrow here. Make sure y'all hit the like button among coming in because we need to talk about the space before we move forward in 2023. So that way you can understand what has happened here since everybody want to keep forgetting about Manosphere 1.0, what happened in Manosphere 2.0, and all that shit. So that way you can stop asking about the status of the space. You can stop that. You can really stop that. I don't think bringing women into the space actually changed the space at all. I'm actually glad that the women are actually here, to be quite honest with you. I don't think the super chat button really destroyed the space either. I don't think that's possible. I don't even think that's the case. I think that if you've been here for over 7 years, and if you're not talking about anything productive, no political organizing, not taking a side, not really knowing or understanding how things worked, then you were the Bravo Alpha November who came to a place of progress and tried to turn it into something else. You did that. You did that. When you rushed over to Kevin Samuels' channel to go watch him talk to these fucking whores that nobody should be talking to, you did that. You stood here for a chance for anybody to offer you any deal. It didn't matter if it was dating coaches. It didn't matter if it was women who can't verify shit. It didn't matter about any of those things. You were looking for a reason to compromise because progress is easy. Once you have the information of the so called red pill, the red pill doesn't lead you to creating products. So that way you can go back to the same circumstances that you now know a lot about. Like, there's a whole bunch of Bravo Alpha Novembers that just came through here. You had the child support complaint crew come through here. You had a lot of things come through here that never would be allowed in Master 1.0. A lot of it. But you can't complain about the space. Like if you haven't got rid of the Bravo Alpha November out of your own personal life, you're gonna end up siding with them and hanging out with them online. Because that's what the whole problem was the entire time. Was the Bravo Alpha November. Was the dude who wanted to bring them back to the table. Was the person who wanted to share whack bitches content. It was the person who kept wanting to be with somebody that they know that they shouldn't have been with in the first place. You can't tell me that you followed these Bravo Alpha Novembers and all of a sudden you went through and got a master's degree in whatever it is that's productive. There's no way that you went and accomplished that by listening to these whack ass dudes who ain't got shit else going on in their life except for providing excuses to you to not learn how shit works. There's no way that that's the case. There is no way that that's the case. Street dudes are here, fake pimps are here, people who think that because they got access to some whack ass woman for some temporary, nondescript period of time, think that they're better than another man. They're here. You have a whole bunch of people who are here, right here, because The Manosphere is one of the greatest, and I mean the greatest social experiments ever known to mankind. You don't even have to see how fuck niggas act anymore. You got them here. You don't have to see that anymore. You got them here. You got the same percentage of non-productive people in Black America who's stuck, face stuck on sports, who's trying to look at being represented by everybody else's artwork rather than going out and creating shit themselves. Same group of people who are complaining about women. Same group of dudes who are working at some godforsaken fucking job, won't skill up, but want all the people in the rest of the planet to not want to come here and also skill up and move past you. It's going Doug. That's what happened to the space. There's nothing wrong with the space. And just like in Black America, the Bravo Alpha November is actually still a problem. Like there's any number of YouTubers that I could name that's been here over 7 or 8 years, and their content hasn't changed at all. But for the Bravo Alpha November, the attention is what this shit's about. They don't care about how they look. They'll put their whole face on camera and say a whole bunch of stupid shit. No, Johnny Blaze, you're correct. So it's like this. At this point, it's you. It's you. Like if you have to break your neck, like like the same time that you waste online in these meaningless ass conversations, you could be spending that same time at night or overnight studying for a skill, moving to a new job, moving to a new position. Because at this point in time, there is no legitimate reason to be messing with uncultured women unless that is your end goal. There is no reason to be around fuck niggas unless that is your end goal. There is no reason to be talking about single motherhood or the single mother rate or any of that shit unless that shit is your end goal. Now that you've amassed all this information, you got to go do something with it. You got to go do something with this information. You have to. You have to understand. I didn't need the Manosphere for money or attention or none of that shit. And I don't give a fuck if you did as a person. Fuck you and your business model. This place was not meant to be a business model or a gentrification trap for the Bravo Alpha November. It just never was meant for that. I know you want to hang out and you want friends. Like you got the rest of your life and outside of the space to do that. You don't have to come to this space to actually do that. You guys have got to realize is that this is nothing but a representation of society. Remember, it wasn't the women that decided to support fuck shit. It was you motherfuckers who decided to do that. You decided that entertainment was so fucking important that you'll get to the progress at some point in time in the future. This is why most younger motherfuckers don't respect older people. Period. As they shouldn't. Because when you look around for help or advice on any type of issue, the first thing that comes out of people's mouths is the reason why they do not want to take any action. The first thing out of their mouths is we can't do X, Y, and Z unless the women come back to the table, unless the women fucking act right. Unless the women, unless the women, unless the women, unless the women. But see, you have to take responsibility of the fact that you tried to turn fuck meat into family. That's your fucking problem. That was not a problem that the red pill was going to solve. That was not a problem that SYSBM was going to solve. That's not a problem that Passport Bros was going to solve. It wasn't. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. You're going to be a reflection of where you spend your time. No matter what. You're still going to be a reflection of that shit at some point. It's so easy to stir the pot at the bottom where people are currently at. That doesn't require any skill. It doesn't require any skill to put out the same tired, goofy shit that no culture is actually looking forward to as a success model. Most of the people I know that started making a great amount of progress within this space, they started making it the moment that they turned this shit the fuck off. The moment that they decided to take action with this information. Once they left the country for the first time, or once they left their city for the first time, or once they got around better people for the first time. Once they understood actually not putting up with this stuff that you see within this space is actually where life begins. Like once you start laying down strong ass value systems to where you would rather die than see these people succeed, that's the way that goes. You can now go make money, deal with different groups of people, and have a different outcome without being infinitely gaslit into putting one of these undesirables, situational undesirables on your arm. For you to be charmed out of your actual future by pairing you up with individuals that are not going to do you any good. There is no justifiable reason why 50-year-olds with no fucking accomplishments are still within the space. You have to understand that women are inanimate objects, especially the dangerous ones. A lot of people came here for the information so that way they can get sexual access. Oh yeah, you better believe it, man. Bro, listen, man. I cleaned up my personal circle. I cleaned up my personal circle like a motherfucker. Like, if your ass is not politically invested, politically involved, politically organizing on the ground, if you ain't got no side pick, if you ain't got no tangible fucking career field, I don't fuck with you like that outside of here. That's what it is. It's too easy to be on stupid shit around here. And that's what you have to leverage this space for what it is. This is the test market. Can you stay away from fuck niggas? Can you stay away from them? And most of this shit is no. Most of these people can't stay away from this shit. Why? Because they simultaneously want to be with somebody that don't want to be with them, and you're trying to steal something of value from them and make it your own. You have non-productive people, non-productive people trying to weigh in on everything. They want to shit all over every single topic that comes through. Now, these are the people that the world have clearly forgotten about years ago. But somehow they want to shit all over every single topic that there possibly is. Every single topic has to be covered from the Bravo Alpha November lens. What would this story be like with a little Bravo Alpha November added to it? Like I said, pretty soon this online space is going to be just like the neighborhoods right now. Empty as fuck. You look like a damn fool being a fucking street dude, right now, nowadays, in anybody's neighborhood. You look like a damn fool doing that today. You would also look like a damn fool if you leveraged how much time you did and how much drugs you did and how much ass you hit around people that you don't know today. That shit would look infinitely stupid as well. You can play this game as long as you fucking want to, but everybody has played for a loss. There's not a single person who has won this matchup against this person who's not trying to win. Remember, the Bravo Alpha November wouldn't be that relevant unless it is the black male psyche. This stuff is very deep inside the head, man. Like if you need to be politically or emotionally gaslit by Tia Son Johnson, something is wrong with you. The guy created a plan. He gave the plan to nobody, called the shit the black male agenda, didn't take it to anybody, and your dumbass just fucking celebrated him for doing so. It's not a jealousy based issue. It just shows you something's wrong with the mind. Like anybody can offer you a plan that you don't have to work for, and most of these dumb niggas would just eat it up. If you're this fucking stupid online, what the fuck you think is happening outside of YouTube in your own life? If you're dumb enough to fall for that, no consequences. And yes, a three-letter guy did bring the PhDs here for a reason. He brought the PhDs here to continue to keep wasting your motherfucking time. Because the PhDs have foregone the productivity piece and they have invested heavily into black male failure. Yes, most of these topics lead nowhere on purpose. You want to know why? They are compensated for you not moving in life on purpose. Think about it. You think it was the women that didn't want to hear substance? Oh no, it was the men that didn't want to hear substance either. The men didn't want to hear about successful motherfuckers doing shit. Dudes wanted to hear about this bitch. That's what they wanted to hear about. And some of the same people I see asking about the status of the space, all I gotta do is look at my analytics. The people who watch your channel is tuned into, holy shit, who the fuck are these people? You go and look at this shit, you're like, no, wait a minute. They come to me for the productivity and then they go right back to the hose. Oh, okay. But you have to be honest about yourself. This is what's going on everywhere. And the only people who are complaining are the people who are losing. Because when you're not participating in society, you got a lot of time to live stream, man. You got a lot of time to listen to dumb niggas talk about the 94 crime bill and not having any political awareness and not really covering what's going on in society and trying to hide behind black boys like a human fucking shield, even though they were the same dudes who gave these black boys to these fucked up women. Not the conservative ones, not the ones with good fathers. The motherfuckers couldn't wait. Ask yourself a question, a serious question. If you had a strong father figure in your motherfucking life, would he send you to one of these so-called leaders in the black manosphere? And after that yes or no question, what would be the reason why he would send you to one of these so-called leaders? Which one of these dating coaches or game dudes with your actual strong father figure, a strong grandfather figure, would send you to? Oh yeah, they do worse than that. They don't get them access to women. They don't hire these motherfuckers for anything. They pretty much shun and put out the group. But within this culture, they have reserved that type of behavior for actual productive people because the needs of the many prevail over the needs of the few. But nobody factored in to the point to where, what if the few become the many? What if the few decided to put so many kids out here that are non-functional that they would change the DNA landscape of the actual black community into a Bravo Alpha November? They would put so many non-functional children out there that the collective psyche would reflect the Bravo Alpha November. What happens if that's the case? Because remember, you couldn't put any checks or balances on the men or the women who was messing this thing up because you had to be suspect sexually if you didn't want illicit sex to be exchanged within the environment, even though we're dealing with the collective consequences of it. They had a protection system for this stuff. Again, the women were not organizing this, they was merely the beneficiaries of it. They didn't organize, but they were the beneficiaries of it. And again, most of these men stopped their progress years ago to qualify for these individuals. They wanted to do everything in the world but be a productive individual. They wanted to do everything in the world but challenge power. They wanted to do everything in the world except formulate their own power. They wanted to do everything else in the world but upskill. Every time every time there was a chance to choose comfort and escapism over progress, they took it. Every single time. And then they turned around and they blamed the actual lack of perfect women around as the reason why they did the shit that they did do. So if you want to know what happened to the space, that's what happened to the space. Because most of you guys just don't have the minimum level of principle and integrity to actually live in a fucking society. Most of these people within this space only have enough principle to run up on a whack bitch and then complain about the shit after they're done with it. That's the problem here. So there's really nothing wrong with the space. There's something wrong with the clientele. How you fix a clientele problem? You don't. You just keep pointing out the problem and you keep weaponizing the fucking youth against these old ass motherfuckers who ain't got no accomplishments. You can sit back and watch these fucking goofy ass women speak as much as you want to. That's not going to give you access to better women, regardless of how they fucking look. You can listen to me talk about the transportation industry as much as you want to. That's not going to make you go get your CDL. You can listen to tech live streams, old ones from the Black Brain Trust. That's not going to make you want to get into IT. You can listen to people talk about things from the medical career field within the space of YouTube. That's not going to make you want to go pursue medicine. But if you listen to information about whack bitches or whack circumstances, you line up around the corner to go practice that shit. So you go practice all the things that you shouldn't be practicing. And you don't spend the time period on the stuff that you should be practicing. Then you turn around to the people who would spent the majority of their life preparing for their position that they are in. Now you expect this community outpouring and outreach to pull you up to their position, even though these people knew exactly what you were doing the entire time. They're seeing you chilling out. They're seeing you doing all this stupid shit. They're seeing it. So at this point, there's nothing wrong with the space. This space just showing you the actual overall nature of the people here. That's what it is done. And once the conversation gets too hot, they leave. But think about how many times in society where people actually flee realistic situations. Think about it. If you'll flee realistic conversations online, then you'll flee realistic conversations in real life. If you'll hang out with bullshit motherfuckers online, you'll hang out with bullshit motherfuckers in real life. If you show up to bullshit conversations online, you'll show up to bullshit conversations in real life. It's not hard. You see, most of y'all wanted that clean slate. This was the clean slate. You chose where you wanted to hang out at. You freely did that with your own internet connection. Just like with everything else in life, if you're given a clean slate, you're supposed to change your behavior when you show up to a new place. But guess what happens when you've never grown as a person and you go to a new place? You tend to recreate the same circumstances that you had in the previous place where you left. Think about how many people online who cannot manage a simple internet connection. They can't manage a simple internet connection. They spend all this time on hood shit within their community, and then they come online and engage in the hood shit on here. You have to understand that maybe you, the individual, is helping the Bravo Alpha November make it into 2023. Because yeah, it was a gentrification of the space, and the women didn't do that. The women just exposed the dudes for the nature that they had. The super chat button didn't do that. It just shows that people wanted to pay for fucking entertainment rather than support actual people who are moving forward. These people put great effort into remaining ignorant. You can't teach that. That's pathological. There's so many people that I took to Denver. The first place where they wanted to hang out at is they wanted to hang out. Yeah, man, where the hood at? Know where the dangerous parts of town. Like, hey, man, we don't hang out over there, man. Claiming that they want the fresh start. As soon as they got there, they want to hang out in war zones. Yeah, man, I got a lot of calls coming in. Yeah, but that's where we at. There's nothing wrong with the space that you will not see in your own life. It's either you move past the shit or you haven't moved past it. But you're going to see the same cycles that you see in your life that you see online right here. You're going to see people be in spaces that they shouldn't be in. You're going to see people try to keep dreams alive that's never going to happen. You're going to see people pretend to be leaders when they ain't got no leadership qualities. You're going to see people be ignorant as fuck, even though that there are tons of ways to get basic information on everything. You're going to see individuals not really invest time into correcting themselves, but want to correct everybody else. You're going to want to see people shut down progress everywhere you fucking go. You're going to keep seeing it. Because if you don't notice it now, when are you going to notice it? It's the same cycle. It doesn't take any type of social scientist to point out to you that they're only exploiting your actual ability to want to be with the wrong type of woman at the end of the day. And, and you're trying to make it look like you're so fucking loyal for doing so. That's not the case. You want to do this shit because you ain't got nowhere else to go either. And no one else would accept you in your current condition, which is the reason why you're mad at her about it. Because her in her condition, she should want to choose you when you should be choosing something else. But this is where we are. You're going to see the same thing. Actually, the reason why you see all this shit at the bottom is because you haven't moved. Imagine what happens if you had all the progress that you claim you wanted and you actually moved away from this bullshit. If you moved away from this bullshit, it wouldn't seem tantalizing to you online. Because a lot of people want to act out their fuck nigga fantasies online, saying bullshit to people online that they will never say to a motherfucker's face. Being on all this whole shit online, pretending to be this whole other individual online. What's going on, Uncle Stu, old man for the block? Yeah, man, he's at a decent channel, man. Go over there and subscribe to his channel. Another older, competent black man in this space that is surely needed around here. I'm not saying that we should take the Manosphere back, because you can't take it back from what has happened. But you can make sure that you correct your own life from what you actually see here. It's time to start bringing older individuals around that are not the fucking master teacher and this merry band of bullshit PhDs. It's time to start bringing actual black people around here who actually have accomplished shit with their fucking life. It's time to do that. So that way you can have a comparison between the people that you thought were older men, like all the boomers that you motherfuckers talk about and shit. Like, bro, I wasn't raised by men like that. I wasn't raised around men like that. Men around here, I wasn't raised around bullshit niggas like that. I was not raised around men like that at all. This was merely some online shit. Like I never met a greater group of piece of shit black men than when I came to the Black Manosphere. I'm talking about my age and older, and I'm Generation X. But you do have your Lawrence guys, your Nagons out there, but they're vastly outnumbered by the other pieces of shit who are actually here. Who's trying to lead you back to the negotiating table with women that you ain't supposed to fucking be with or be around. Because here's the three things that they cannot lead you to. They cannot lead you to better circumstances. Overall, they can't do that. They can't lead you to a better financial outcome. They cannot do that either because they are inherently incapable of any type of productive manner because they're destroyers, they're not builders. And they also can't lead you to better women because the way that they currently act online, it brings out certain type of women. Certain type of women are vehemently attracted to the fuck nigga. They're vehemently attracted to it. And this is the guy that they wanted to supplement masculinity with across the board. A lot of these people hate progress. They hate progress. They hate progression. They hate when people got their shit together. They only want to see it through moonshot, get the bag, bullshit. That's the only thing that they actually respect. Why? Because it reflects where they currently are in life. So if it currently reflects where you currently are in life, progress becomes the enemy. That's right. Knowing how things work, freeing yourself from this fucking ignorance, taking some type of action within your life so that way you ain't got the same complaints next year becomes the enemy. Because you're desperately trying to hold on to this comfort where you do not have to participate in society, but all this shit that's supposed to happen in society is just going to happen because you want it to happen. That's not how it works. And you know that's not how it works because you got the results of knowing that this ain't how this shit works. But you keep pretending anyway. Anybody who offer you any type of fake ass answers to realistic questions, you take that shit on. The reason why you take it on, everything's okay. Just so long as you ain't got to get your hands dirty. Listen, man. Nobody is coming to save you, bruh. No fucking body. Nobody. Nobody didn't come save me from Mississippi. Nobody didn't come save me from the Air Force. Nobody came to save me from being a cop. Nobody saved me from being a motherfucking fugitive recovery agent. Nobody saved me from being a IT project manager. Nobody saved me from being a fucking normal ass fucking driver to a fleet owner. Nobody did that shit. I did all that shit. And you're gonna have to do all that shit too. Here's the thing, man. Being surrounded by better people isn't gonna make you take better actions. You can have 100% successful people within this space talk about the things they actually do in their real life. That's not entertainment and bullshit. That's not gonna make you take any action. That's not gonna make you personally take any action. That's not gonna make you take any action, man. And the only people who are losing are the motherfuckers who didn't take enough action. Yeah, I was losing too. I wasn't exempt from this fucking process. I wasn't exempt from it at all. You have to realize, man, you are what you support. Even bitch ass niggas. It don't matter. If your ass ain't winning, nobody's gonna feel sorry for that shit, man. Nobody's gonna feel sorry for you to put a whole bunch of money in your pocket and put your ass in a position so that way you can fuck up their company, man. Like, bro, that ain't how that works. The world loves confident men, bro. The world has always loved confident men. The world has always loved confident fucking men. There's two groups of people that don't like confident fucking men. One is the Bravo Alpha November, which is the male counterpart to the actual woman that you don't need to be within this society. Because they act the same way when they're around competent men who don't compromise with crazy ass circumstances. They make it look like that type of stuff need to be destroyed and now. That's what you have. The only thing they wanted you to do is they wanted you to believe in this group benefit shit so that way you can stop taking action. You think these people want to teach you how shit work, how finances really work, how going up to the maximum effect of whatever career field that you in work? They're not trying to do you that. They trying to keep your ass stuck in these predictable ass circumstances that you shouldn't be in for their own personal benefit. They benefit a lot off of seeing most black men fail. Not just black men fail, but men in general fail. You don't get anything out of a group of failed men. You don't get shit out of it. You don't get anything out of that. You don't get anything out of entertainment. You don't get a damn thing out of it. That's what's going on, man. But that's what we currently are, folks. There's nothing wrong with the space. There's something wrong with the people who call themselves leaders of the space who ain't fucking going nowhere. People who want to be leaders, the space get attacked, they either run away from associating with the space until it's not attacked anymore, or do a piss poor job of defending the actual space itself. Because guess what they don't attack? They don't attack substantive fucking dudes. Because I could saw these motherfuckers into pieces in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I know what educated, unproductive motherfuckers are like. I know how educated, unproductive people try to assuage blame and reassign actual discomfort. I know how they do that. But hey, why have all the fun when I could just tell you exactly how these people are going to do shit and you can watch them walk deliberately into these predictable circumstances because this is what they are based on. They are based on black male failure. Yes, you are what you talk about. What type of person who would sit here and weaponize your actual insecurities and not provide you a way out of it? They depend on you fucking with the wrong type of woman. You see, messing with the wrong type of woman is the skeleton key that opens the door to all of them being all in your business. Very predictable at that. That's the way these things work. That's the way these things work. It's not hard. There's nothing wrong with the space. The problem is that people don't understand the space. The space is not supposed to be a hangout for a bunch of people, lonely ass motherfuckers. It's supposed to be a place for you to learn all the shit that's going on and going wrong, and then raising the fuck up out of here and doing something else about it. That's why most people leave the fucking space, so that way they can go accomplish some shit. Because at some point you see your favorite content creator is actually heavily invested in your actual failure. I've had that conversation a lot of times too. Man, my life was going nowhere. Man, I wasted 5 years of my life. And the moment I turned that shit off and started taking personal actions and I started seeing results, that's when I knew I had to stay the fuck away from here. I'm telling you, I hear this shit all the time. Hear it all the time. Yes, but they wanted to turn it into a space and a place where they get to talk to women and shit. That trapdoor of talking to people that you cannot change. Why do you want to talk to people who don't get it? Why would you want to talk to people who are empowered by those type of circumstances of power? Why would you want to do that? I tell you right now, any woman, and I mean any fucking woman content creator who's ministering to you about females' behavior is full of shit. They have enough room to correct their own fucking gender. They don't have to come to me to correct their. Yeah, I see what the fuck they doing. But when you full of shit for so long, and when you benefit off the same system that you claim you complaining about without trying to fix it, of course they're full of shit. But see, a lot of people want to believe in the good enough Keisha, the Keisha with a heart of gold, the woman who haven't abused herself within this environment that is set up for abuse. Just like being a cop, it's no different. A bad system will make anybody bad, regardless of intent. The military, certain places like intelligence and special forces, bad situations will always make people bad. Every single time. Hold on a second. Fuck. Hold on a second. God damn it. All right, I'm back. Hold on a second. I got to run a credit check on a broker real quick. Fuck. Ryder. But that's currently where we are at, man. Don't worry about the space. A lot of people who gonna come here, they came here to hang out. They can hang out any other place where they want to, but they wanted to come around actual a space that actually meant something to actually destroy it. But there's nothing wrong with the space, man. People are like, oh, the space, the space, the space. Dude, listen, if you was progressing in your own fucking life, the space wouldn't fucking matter. The space wouldn't fucking matter. Somebody's attention that somebody is getting within the space shouldn't fucking matter. If you moving in your own personal life, none of this shit would matter. But if you're trying to wait for your shot and chance because you see somebody else benefiting off of a moonshot, so you think that you got to pause all of your would-be process. I'm sorry, progress, so that way you can benefit off a moonshot too. That's when you know the mind doesn't understand probability and statistics. They really think that turning your camera on, saying a whole bunch of stupid shit, putting your face behind it, and putting little memes and fucking all these graphics behind dumbass shit that you're doing, dude, it don't mean shit, bro. You're just dressing up bullshit. Everybody sees it, and nobody respects it that much. Oh, I don't know where the shade room is. Red Pill Finance. You have to explain that one. I don't even know where the shade room is, but that's where we currently are at. This shit is at will follow, man. At will. There's only a small percentage of people who want to move forward in society. You know that shit. I've already called it 5 years ago when I got here. 1% scalable to 3%. The women, 0.1% scalable to 1%. Those are the only people that's going to be able to move. Those are the only people going to be able to do shit. Those are the only people you're going to be able to rock with. But a lot of people are trying to turn the vast majority of people into the minority of people. Or trying to stay well connected to the majority of the people until you get your shot to be the minority person outside the system. The whole point is to have all the answers and not repeat this shit. That's what you were supposed to do with this opportunity. You've never been around this group of diverse black men before. You've never done it because I haven't never done it either. I can see that skill, Margaret. I can see that. I can see that. I guess YouTube is the place for the next, mixtape nigga who want to talk to women and shit about their problems that they can't fix and trying to hand them off to men, unsuspecting men to go fuck their lives up. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. But hey, not everybody can turn pro off bullshit. And just because bullshit may get you to the top, it will not keep you there. That's the problem here. People want to not be serious on everybody else's dime but their own. There's really nothing wrong with the space. The people who ain't running shit here ain't running shit in their own life either. Ain't nobody really coming to the Manosphere when it comes to organizing or fucking fundraising or nothing. They're not coming here for any of that. Yeah, I agree with you. This is a place where they want niggas and fuckboys to win. And as long as you know that, as long as you keep your distance from them, never do business with them, you're gonna be fine, man. As long as you use this shit as a boilerplate on the people to hang out with and the people who don't, the man spirit done his job. Because these people are an extension of what your ass is gonna meet throughout life. This space is an actual extension of what you're gonna meet throughout life. The grand majority of people are gonna be too full of shit, too busy not even being concerned about trying to fix their own issue and trying to benefit off somebody else's hard work. It's gonna be the same everywhere you go. That's why you might as well look at it here and make the actual adjustments here. So that way you're not wasting a whole bunch of time. You don't have to wait to see what happens when you concentrate on women and your ass end up dying over that shit. You don't have to wait and see what happens when you try to cancel goofy ass whores that you don't fucking date, but you expect other people to date, and you end up dying in the middle of that shit. You don't have to wait to see the end of that. That should happen in front of everybody. You don't have to wait and see how talking to women online isn't going to make a good woman show up to your motherfucking life. You don't have to see that either. You see that right here. You don't have to see that you're no closer. No closer has been the experience of most people here. The only thing they've done, they found a lot of more people who are also in the same circumstances that they're in. Right here. If you solve your personal economic problems, the things you complain about will change. The moment you start being invested and involved yourself with fixing your own fucking circumstances, the more you see the people who are not even participating in doing that minimum level of work. Again, most of this shit is still on you. I'm glad all these different diverse group of fuck niggas are here. I'm glad all the Bravo Alpha Novembers are here. I'm glad the women are here. I'm glad the super chat button is there. The compromise niggas. I'm glad all this shit is here. Why? So that way you can see what people will fund and what they'll fucking support. And it's gonna be no different than what it is in society and life. It's no different. They didn't want red pill information from men. They rather hear from women. That's what they wanted. Is that gonna help them make or take better action in their life? No, of course not. These people have consistently had the answers to these questions for a long time. The problem is the reality of the fact that they cannot exist in that world unless they have these problems associated with them. That's the scary part. Oh, of course it is. You don't fix a clientele problem. You just keep moving product that's actually needed, and the clientele is going to go after the clientele goes towards. Because the clientele want to be sold this dream of grand compromise. They want to be sold that dream. That sitting up here focusing on these whack bitches is somehow going to make an actual woman of substance show up at your doorstep. Damn. 75 shit. I'm all the way at 90, 95%. But that's what I'm saying. You don't even have to meet sub archetypes of the Bravo Alpha November. You have them all within the Manosphere. You have them all within the Manosphere. You have them all here. Every single one of them, every single subtype. They're right here. You can see how they move. You can see how they act. You can see who they corroborate with. You can see what chats they show up in. You can see all that shit. You get to see it all without ruining or wrecking your life doing so. Yeah, reading that book will fucking do it for you. Will simplify it for you. Because the more that you spend time learning how these things work, the less time you're going to need for other people to interpret it for you. People are always trying to outsource shit that is their responsibility. Your own personal finances, your responsibility. There's no person that's going to sell you a concept or something that you're going to pay $5 in and you're going to get $95,000 out of. That's not how it works. What's going on, Sean H? But this is where we're currently at. You think I talk like this just here? No, I talk like this in my personal life too. When I talk to people offline, I talk to them the same way too. When I talk to my fucking nieces and nephews, I talk to them the same way too. Being full of shit is a fucking choice, man. You ain't got to be full of shit out here. You could do realistic things and great things without being full of shit. You could do realistic and great things and still be a man of substance. You can. But there's always going to be that subsegment of people, which is most of them at this point, who's going to want to take shortcuts. That's what I'm saying. My father made sure that I knew everything that they knew about everything by the time I turned 18 years old. Well, at least my grandfather, my dad wasn't around that much. Well, he died when I was like 12, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. I was talking to my cousin, I think it was last week. Somehow, after Thanksgiving, this motherfucker got my number because I don't give my number to nobody. And I also tell my wife not to give my number to nobody either because I don't want to meet these motherfuckers outside of this Thanksgiving meeting. So I talked to this dude. In and out of prison all his fucking life. Got a couple of kids, ain't got custody of none of them. This dude immediately started telling me about his bitch problem. Man, I could not hang up that phone on that nigga so fast. I do not want to hear niggas talk about their bitch problem. Especially if I don't live there and I know how much trouble this person is, regardless how good she looks. But see, people just bypass that shit and go right into the consequences. And then they want to share the consequences with you like it's some type of good ass news. Like, bro, I ain't got time for that shit. The moment you stop accepting these bullshit explanations for people who put themselves in circumstances that they shouldn't be in, the moment that you can say, nah, man, this is the last motherfucking time I'm gonna listen to this shit out of you. You should know by now not to fuck with this, not to fuck with that, what the life cycle is, and all of that. The moment you can say, this shit ends today, I do not want to hear this shit. I only have enough room and time to be budgeted on shit that's important to me and where the fuck I'm going in life. You're not going to be a better person by listening to all these predictable ass problems that you can stay the fuck away from. You're not going to be a better person about that. You're going to feel bad about it. You don't feel sorry about it. But you have to put these walls up, man. You have to put these walls up and protect yourself from this shit. So that way, when you hear disrespectful shit, you can feel the heat and the rage that fucking comes with somebody trying to put this shit off in your fucking life. Because it's normal to them, they want it to be normal to you too. First thing you got to do is orchestrate on paper what is your ideal world like? Not using women as a barometer. What is your idea of fucking peace? What is your idea of shit actually working right? Then you have to be even more honest about that. How much of these people, how much of these circumstances, how much of this family that I personally have to get rid of to accomplish said goal? How much money does it take for me to live a certain fucking way? Peace requires focus. You have to know where the fuck you are at, know where peace is at, be honest about how far you got to travel to peace, and then you have to maintain it once you get there. There ain't nobody talking about that type of shit around here. Why? Being focused on the wrong type of woman is going to give you all these excuses to keep listening to these motherfuckers forever. They're kind of keep you as an unhappy client. That's the only way they can exist. You really think these people want you getting your money together, dealing with women on a one-to-one basis, and you off the fucking market, living your life, raising your motherfucking kids, and just living in relative harmony and peace? You really think they're gonna escort you to that shit? They can't do nothing like that. They can't do it. It's impossible for them to do. If you knew most of this shit is based on your inaction and your inability to set your foot down, the moment you do start setting your foot down, because the actual benefit is immediate. The benefit is fucking immediate. Next thing you know, you're gonna start purging all type of bullshit from your fucking life. Next thing you know, you're gonna go back and retread the fucking group again and again and again, and you're gonna get rid of all these problems in your fucking life. So all this time that you was wasting watching your back, waiting to be eventually be screwed over, all that time equity you got back and you was able to do other shit with. No one ever talks about the time rebate either. They don't talk about the time rebate when you get your motherfucking shit together, where you can work your fucking ass off and it don't feel like shit, even though the money's raining in. They can't tell you about shit like that. They haven't done nothing like that. And why the fuck would they give you that information when their whole life is based off of your discontent? Your discontent, your inability to set standards drive this whole fucking society. Impulse actions, impulse consequences. Impulse actions, impulse consequences. Once you start seeing the value of this shit and how much it don't really mean anything, you stop taking those meaningless actions. You stop hanging out in those particular zones. You leave those people alone. You leave them to their own devices. You find other things to do with your time. You realize how much time that you was wasting trying to spin all these plates and keep all these people happy when you was the most unhappy person among this whole scenario, trying to hold up everybody else's happiness. Just watch. Once you start, the people who benefit off you not being focused on what you was focused on, they're going to notice it right away. Shonda, you're right. A lot of people are desensitized to it. They are desensitized to it. They're desensitized to the actions. They're desensitized to the consequences. They're desensitized to the people. They are desensitized. Desensitized to the point to where normal society is too restrictive for them. Normal society becomes too restrictive to them. They got to be as free and as arrogant and as ignorant as possible at the expense of everybody else in order for them to feel normal. They desensitize to the fact that dealing with the wrong type of woman gonna give a certain level of consequences that you can avoid. Desensitized to the shit. Desensitized to the fact that you can get your shit together in relative weeks, months, or even fucking years. You ain't got to live a lifetime at the bottom, check to check. Desensitized to the fact that there could be shit better. Because a lot of these people need struggle. They need shit to complain about in order to live. They don't want to live a life without complaints. They don't want to fix their own shit. They want somebody else to fix it for them. They want to leave it just broken enough to have all the excuses for not making any type of progress. Then they blame everybody else for it. Again, folks, there's nothing wrong with the space. Only your own lack of progression is what's holding your ass here. It doesn't matter who joins or who don't join. They become the same if you pick them up the same way from the same areas of town with the same attitude, dress the same way. Yes, they become the same when you accept that shit. I wanted a different outcome. Therefore, I went to a different place to pick different people. That's not hard. They've talked themselves into thinking that women have to be fucking dysfunctional, that women got to have this female nature shit. They've talked themselves into that. They've talked themselves into accepting that shit as normal. They've talked themselves into that shit. They've talked themselves into thinking that, you know what? Every motherfucker's gonna be ratchet, so I might as well pick up the worst of the worst because they all the same. Yes, they have talked themselves into it, and you can't talk them out of it because it's so pathological at this point. Even if you remind them of what they're doing, they'll make it seem like you're doing some great evil to them by taking away their ability to be comfortable. It's true. And this is gonna be some of the realest shit you ever gonna see ever. You're gonna see the same circumstances, the same issues over and over again. You're gonna see it. Same people going through the same shit. If you did it right, you're gonna be slowly progressing and your actual complaints are gonna change. That's the way it should be. But if you ain't moving at all, your complaints are gonna remain the same over the same period of time. Think about it. Pick a content creator. How can you have the same complaints for 7 fucking years straight about single mothers and bringing whack bitches to the table and all this dumb shit that don't mean anything? Hanging out in bad areas of town and escaping away from bullshit circumstances where you always almost get shot. Like, how much of this shit is your fucking responsibility to not put yourself in them circumstances? You ain't got to live nobody's fucking dream of bullshit. You deserve the most and the maximum out of life with your own hands. Ain't nobody gonna give you a motherfucking thing out here. Like, they say stupid shit like that because they will accept any type of woman as long as it's a woman. As long as there's enough chromosomes to be a woman, they're willing to put up with anything to be around her. That's why we got to be on the ground floor of correcting our own fucking shit and not waiting on these bullshit motherfuckers to do it for us. That's a lot of grown up ass children around this bitch. A lot of them. I'm just saying that you can check out this shit whenever you want to. You owe it to yourself to see how other things work across the world. And every place you go, you're going to bring a little bit of that shit back with you to the point to where you're going to be live in total peace and harmony like everybody else across the world. Just because they're Bravo Alpha Novembers in the gentrification process, they mess up everything eventually. It doesn't matter how many Bravo Alpha Novembers are here. It doesn't matter how many men are compromised are here. Doesn't matter how many women are here. How they look and all that shit. None of that has nothing to do with your own level of personal progress. Nothing. The first question is, what the fuck are you doing? So that way you ain't got to keep worrying about this shit. Yeah, I'm putting it. That's what it is. Behavioral sync. Behavioral sync. It's kind of like the ants on the death march that march around in circles until they die. Yes, behavioral sync. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So with that said, I got some additional time this weekend. They gotta do some things overnight, so I'm gonna be sleeping during the day. So I'm gonna be having more time at night to live stream at least Saturday and Sunday of this week. So There's 2 live streams. I want you to put some mics on. Hold on a second. This is going to be my Sunday show. Hold on a second. That's going to be for the Sunday show. Explain the difference between academic productive and academic unproductive people. And we're going to have a different show tomorrow night. Just came up with this concept. I've been working on this show for a while. And this show right here. Okay. Because the behavioral sync that the guy just brought up, the Saturday show is going to be talking about the victim mentality versus the synthetic victim mentality. That's going to be tomorrow night's show at 10 Eastern. Because you have to learn the difference and you have to see these thought processes up front and you have to explore them or watch me explain to you the difference of them so that way you can be able to correct these actual individuals when you're actually around them so that way they can stop taking so much of your time away from you, because there's only so much time that you have here and you don't have time for the actual victim mentality, because there is a real victim mentality around here, not the victim mentality that gaslights you about issues that are actually happening and you have to pretend like they're not happening in order for you to not have the victim mentality. I'm not talking about bullshit like that. I'm talking about real victim mentality. And then worse than the victim mentality, there's the synthetic victim mentality, which is worse than the victim mentality itself. So that's going to be the show for Saturday. That's going to be the show for Sunday. Make sure that you like both of those actual streams. And I want to thank you guys for still supporting my channel. We're going to be doing some big things in 2023. I'm going to be separating myself from most of these non-productive individuals. And we got to be able to fix our gender and stop them from becoming Bravo Alpha Novembers. I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'm the man tomorrow. You guys have a really nice rest of your night. Peace.